Just take a couple big breaths, find some presence here. Feel the texture of your mat underneath the soles of your feet. Feel your toes spreading wide to give you that balance, and then maybe deliberately start to just move around a little bit. So as you find this little shift, just notice how all those little twitchy muscles in your ankles and your knees and your toes and feet, they readjust to make sure that you don't fall down. And these are probably some of the most important muscles in your body, but we don't ever really pay attention to them. All right, and then go ahead and blink your eyes open. So let's start with some big arm circles. So we kind of shook it out already. Let's just start by pressing your left hand in your left thigh. Just reach your right hand up and around. So by finding this engagement on this side, we're just kind of keeping everything stabilized so that we really find our true range of motion on the right. So reach, big circle. And notice how your hand and your arm need to move to get your shoulder to make this big circle. So if you turn your palm inward like this is a more stable position, but you also can't go through that full range of motion. If you turn your palm away, you can kind of feel that go through it. See if you notice any areas that happen to be a little sticky. Bring it back around the other way for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Notice I'm not moving super fast here. You don't want to whip your arm around, especially if you don't do this very often. Let's do the other side. Right hand just pressing gently into your right thigh. Just come up and around. This is definitely my tighter side, so you may notice that I have a little bit different sized circle on this side. I notice it's a little bit stickier as well through various parts of the range. Just kind of see how it feels. If you do a lot of swimming, or if you do too much yoga, there is such a thing as too much yoga. If you do a lot of yoga or a lot of push-ups or a lot of bench press, this is going to be kind of hard for you, and your circle's probably going to look more like this because you just don't really have that range of motion because you do too much of one thing. Bring it back around the other way. And you may be starting to feel a little sensation like you're getting a little tired in your shoulder, and that's fine. Just kind of work with it. 3, 2, 1. Then shake it off one more time. Let's do one last little shoulder warm up here. So let your arms hang at your side and then just swing. So just kind of let your arms slap your body. So you can even close your eyes here. It's a slight balance element, and notice how you feel this kind of gapping sensation. It's this centrifugal force that's pulling your elbows and your shoulder joints. It's called gapping. So that's actually happening inside your shoulder. There's just this little looseness where the joint's pulling apart a little bit. Let's just do this rotation. A few more breaths. Feel the torsion through your midsection, so you are using your core muscles a little bit to twist. 3, 2, 1. Both hands up in the center, reach. Cactus elbows, find a back bend like you're trying to pull an invisible bar to your chest. Inhale, both hands up. Exhale, hands to a prayer position. So we're actually going to start just like this with facing the wide side of your mat, so make any adjustments that you need to. So with this slightly wider stance, let's see what the hips are doing now. So it's doing a couple of little old lady hip swivels. With this wider stance position, you're not going to be able to make those big circles, so just kind of see where the sticky spots are. So we're going to jump right into some standing postures today, just to save some time. This is a little bit shorter class, so just kind of see what you notice here as we move into some of these positions. So turn your right toes to the right, bend your knee. Warrior 2. Let's play around with the difference between Warrior 2 and Warrior 1. So in this position right now, my hips are facing you, which is at the long edge of my mat. I'm going to transition to Warrior 1, facing my right foot, and so are my hips. So notice my left hip point comes forward. I'm still gripping the ground with my back foot. My back toes are not popping up. So if you look back at your left pinky toe and it's way off the ground, press it down. And you can look and see how much difference that makes with the position of my leg, how much more stability I have using the arch of my foot. So keep that grip, chest high. Press your heel and your pinky toe into the ground on both feet. Inhale again. Now with your exhale, just come to a reverse warrior position. Left hand to the back of your left thigh, right hand high. Sink in a little bit deeper. Right knees are not coming over toes, but may come forward a little bit. Inhale again. Now with your exhale, right hand reaches down to the inside of your right calf. Left hand stacks up, over, reaching. Maybe look up towards your left thumb with your right eye. So you're getting that full rotation through all those little mechanisms in your face and neck and shoulders. Inhale again. Exhale, reverse your warrior once more. This time start to straighten your right leg. As you reach forward, coming into a triangle pose, notice my knee's a little bit bent. If my knee's locked, you can probably see that it kind of looks a little sketchy. Press down through your big toe, keep a little bend in your knee, reach forward until you can't reach anymore. So find that length underneath your right rib cage, then fingertips down. So you lose a lot of that integrity in your upper body if you're just kind of like, if you're really trying to reach for the ground. So think about finding buoyancy and length here rather than just kind of falling down into the posture. So my hand is light. If you want a little challenge, reach your left hand over. Turn your chest up towards the sky. If you want one more challenge, reach your right hand forward like you're squeezing a ball over your head. Grip the ground with your feet like you're trying to squeeze your feet together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way back up. Ooh. That was a weird noise, I know. Okay, bend your front knee a little bit. Turn your back toes out. So your feet are kind of roughly pointing the same direction, opposite directions, I should say. Start to straighten your right leg, though. We're going to come down into Skandasana. So if you have tight calves, ankles, whatever it is, you might be trying to gravitate towards this. Let's try working back, heel onto the mat. So even if you got to really walk your hands forward here, work into it. Press your left knee out with your left elbow, whether you're here or you're here. Push away. And again, this is one of those yoga things that you should try to work on. Try to get your heel on the ground. That's the full range of motion for your ankle, your knee, and your hip. So again, my right leg is straight, but I'm pressing down and pulling back, which you can't see, but I can feel. So I'm pressing, activating my hamstrings. Now maybe reach your right hand up to the sky. Inhale one more time. Exhale, both hands on the mat. Press through your left heel. Bring yourself back to the center. Come into that forward fold. Turn your toes in, heels out. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Shake your head yes and no. Let some tension go from your neck and shoulders. One more big breath here. Let your upper body get heavy. Okay, and slowly start to lift up and out of it. A little bend in both knees, hands to hips. Pull yourself up on an exhale. Okay, Warrior 2, facing the left foot now. So again, checking in with Warrior 2. You can look down at that front toe. In this case, it's going to be your left big toe. As your knee drifts out, you should be able to see your foot on the inside of your knee. So if your knee's collapsing in like this, if you've watched any of my previous videos about knee stuff, you want to try and keep this stuff in alignment as best you can, just because what you do on your yoga mat is a very good indicator of how you move in other stuff that you do, whether it's running or cycling or whatever. Let's try and find that alignment while you're static and you can focus on it. It's one of the great things about yoga. Okay, big inhale. Exhale, back foot plants into the ground. Sweep, right hand up, Warrior 1. I should note too, it may feel better for you to get your feet wider in this stance. That will give you a little bit more motion here through the hip as you draw your right hip forward. Grip the ground. Both legs are working. Inhale again. Exhale, right hand just drifts back. Find a little reverse warrior here. Just let your head tip back gingerly. A little shout out to Brian Kest. Inhale again. Exhale, left arm forward. So side angle pose. Find the strength here. Instead of just kind of relying on your thigh, challenge yourself a little bit. You know this isn't going to last forever, so just see what you can get here as far as strength goes. Without having to look, so maybe your gaze just drifts up towards your thumb. Think about what your feet are doing. All 10 toes are pressing down. Your arches are lifted a little bit, so you're not collapsing into the inside edge of either foot. Inhale again. Exhale, reverse warrior. Remember, this is just a transition pose. We're going to come into triangle next. So as you start to straighten your left leg this time, lean forward, forward, forward. Again, a little engagement in the left leg. It's not jammed straight. Reach, gently set your hand down. It's just kind of like a gauge for where your body is in space instead of something to rely on for stability. Shoulders back, chest lifts. Find length. Maybe your right hand comes over your ear. If it does, make sure you're still looking up underneath your bicep. Maybe left hand comes up to meet it. 5, 4, 3, chest up, 2, and 1. Push yourself all the way to the top. Okay, I came really wide here. I'm gonna hop my foot back because I don't wanna hurt myself. I encourage you to do the same. So coming down the middle, start to pivot your right toes back. I'm just gonna make that slow motion transition into Skandasana on this side. So this is tighter for me. May not be for you, but everybody's a little different. I'm still working on getting my heel down, but notice my hands are underneath my body here. This is where I need the support. I'm focusing on this, trying to find that alignment, still getting the stretch in the groin and the hamstring, still pressing down through my left foot and pulling back. So I'm gonna keep my right hand down underneath me for a little extra support. I'm still gonna reach my left hand out. So this is just where I am today. Some days it's easier than others. Maybe peel your chest open a little bit more. If you wanna walk your right hand out and to the right, you can. Just for 3, 2, press through both feet, especially the right heel. And with 1, press yourself back down the middle. So come into a prasarita, forward fold, walk your hands forward, bend your elbows. Gotta have the very non-committal goal of letting your elbows get closer to the mat. Keep your gaze lifted so you're looking up between your forearms so you get a little work through the upper back rather than just kind of collapsing down. Let's stay a little bit more active for this one. Two more big breaths here. All right, guys, hands underneath your shoulders. Press your palms down. So everybody's going to do a handstand today. And by everybody, I mean everybody that does not have a shoulder injury or something that's going to hurt them. So if you have something going on with your shoulders or your back or your balance, maybe don't do this. But if you want to give this a shot and just try it out, tiptoe your feet in a little bit, bend your knees slightly, push the ground away. You're just going to hop up, clap your feet together one time. Okay? Maybe do it a couple times. Maybe on the last couple or a few times you find just a little bit more hang time than the last. Set your feet back down. Okay, come all the way back up. You can also come down if you're dizzy at all, hands on the ground for support. And then make your way up when you're ready to. From here, tiptoe your feet in a little bit, hands out wide, and then hop, Ashtanga style. Arms back at your sides right where we started. Inhale, reach up, grab your left wrist with your right hand, drop over to the right side. Inhale again. And then with your exhale back to the center, grab opposite wrist, left grabs right, pull, lean into your right foot a little bit more. So left foot's getting a little bit lighter, as if you could even lift up like that. And slowly back to the middle. Inhale, reach. Maybe tiptoes just for a second. Exhale, hands into a prayer position. Stand up as tall as you can. Let's take 5 big breaths here. So we wind down our practice. An entirely standing sequence today. Because why not? All right, guys, make your way into the rest of your day with grace and ease. I'll see you again tomorrow. Namaste.